I don't think L cared about justice, not really. I think he cared about one thing, finding something he couldn't solve. And Light Yagami was the first thing in his life that actually qualified. That's not a detective story. That's a lonely guy who finally met someone interesting and got killed for it. By the end of this, I promise you, you're gonna see that Rain scene completely differently. L admitted it himself. He doesn't solve cases because he wants to save the world. He solves them because it's his pastime, his word, not mine. Which means every criminal he caught, every life he saved, that was just a side effect. He wasn't out here fighting for justice, he was out here chasing the next hit. And I get it, honestly. When you're that far ahead of everyone around you, when every puzzle gets solved before anyone else even finishes reading it, the world stops being interesting pretty fast. L wasn't addicted to winning. He was addicted to the feeling right before winning, that tension, that uncertainty, the 1 second where he genuinely didn't know what was coming next. Most cases, that second lasted maybe a few hours. With Kira, it lasted years. I mean, of course he couldn't let it go. Most people see L as this cold, calculating machine, crouched weird, eating sugar, no emotions, and yeah, on the surface, sure, but watch episode 25 again. The rain scene, L's standing there, soaked, and he asks Light, "Have you ever told the truth in your life?" There's no case file in his hand, no evidence being collected, no trap being set, just two people standing in the rain, and L asking a question he already knows the answer to. That's not detective work. That's a guy who's about to die, asking the person who's killing him if any of it was real. I mean, come on. That's not cold logic. That's the most human thing in the entire show. And then the foot washing scene. People throw around the Jesus and Judas metaphor. And yeah, it works. But what hits me is simpler than that. L knew. He knew Light was Kira. He knew what was coming. And he still sat down. Still washed his feet. Like he was saying, even if this is how it ends, I'd rather be here than anywhere else. When's the last time you were that honest about something you were losing? There's a version of L that could have walked away, handed the case off. Let someone else deal with Kira. Nobody would have blamed him. He'd already done more than anyone else could, but he didn't. And I don't think it was about justice anymore at that point. I think it was about Light. L spent his whole life solving things that couldn't talk back. Cases, puzzles, problems. And then Light showed up, and for the first time the puzzle was also a person. Someone who could actually keep up. Someone who made the game feel real. And L, who never needed anyone, genuinely didn't know what to do with that. So he called it rivalry. Called it a case. Kept it professional. That a rain scene? That wasn't professional. That was a guy admitting, without actually saying it in any years, that this was the closest thing to a friend he'd ever had. Real talk for a second, have you ever competed with someone so hard that you forgot to just be around them? Kept it intellectual, kept it safe, turned something real into something you could control? Because L did that his whole life. He turned connection into competition, because competition was something he understood. Feelings? He had no framework for that. Winning? He had a whole system. So when Light came along, and someone who could actually match him, L did the only thing he knew how to do. He made it a game. And somewhere in the middle of that game, he started losing track of why he was playing. That's not a villain's tragedy. That's yours. That's mine. That's what happens when you get so good at performing competence that actual connection starts feeling dangerous. I keep coming back to one thing. L's whole identity was built on being the one who figures it out. The one who knows. But with Light, he never fully figured it out. Not really. He suspected, he tested, he circled, but he never got the clean answer. And I think part of him didn't want it. Because if he confirmed Light was Kira, the case would end. And if the case ended, Light would be gone. He prolonged the investigation, not because he needed more evidence, because he needed more time. The world's greatest detective, stalling, because he'd finally found someone worth stalling for. L didn't die because he lost to Light. He died because he let himself care about the one person he absolutely should have. And honestly, I don't think he regretted it. He got years of the only thing that ever made existing feel interesting. He got a rival who was actually a rival. He got the rain scene, the foot washing, that one question hanging in the air. Most people go their whole lives without finding someone who makes them feel like the game is finally worth playing. L found that. It just happened to kill him. Was L solving the case, or just finding a reason to stay?